Alright, what is up, everyone? Back with another video today. Today I'm going to be talking about Michigan football. What else is new? Today I'm going to be talking about the offense. The big problem for this year. Um, so, Michigan is obviously they had a lot of problems last year in 2017 with our offense. The O line wasn't very good at all. The quarterback situation, I would say, is pretty much fixed. If and I know Shea Patterson is talented. You know he can play against ranked teams because I even this morning I watched some Shea Patterson highlights from when he played at Ole Miss last year, and he would make good big plays. He would make big plays against ranked teams when Ole Miss was not ranked at all. So he's a good quarterback. We've also got Brandon Peters who's coming back. We've got uh, Dylan McCaffrey, who's a five-star athlete according to everything, according to the recruits. We got Joe Milton, who's also there as a freshman. So I would say we're set right now uh, as far as quarterbacks go. The O line is the big problem because uh, that was where we struggled the most. We were one of the worst offenses in the country, 110th ranked out of 130 teams. So, and I have two articles I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna read out for you guys about the O line, about the offensive line, about how they look, and what players and coaches are saying about it. So let's go to that right now. All right, so this is an article on the by the Detroit Free Press on Michigan football. Michigan football, Jim Harbaugh makes necessary changes. Will it work? So this is basically taking the coach's perspective of everything on the offense. So Jim Harbaugh and Ed Warner, the offensive line coach and the head coach, talking about different players. So let's look at this. After the 10th practice of summer camp, Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh came out of his bunker, broke his media blackout, poked his head in front of TV cameras, and announced nothing. He announced nothing. Okay. Once again, just like Groundhog Day. Harbaugh did not talk about who would be the starting quarterback. That probably won't be announced. We probably won't even know until Michigan goes out onto the field in South Bend. We probably won't know who's going to walk out onto the field as the starting quarterback until the offense is first starting against Notre Dame. So we won't know till September 1st, real late at night. So, and I'm sure it's going to be Shea Patterson. Most people see it being Shea Patterson. It says right here that even though most assume it will be Ole Miss transfer, Shea Patterson. Harbaugh sees no value in tipping his hand. There is no strategic advantage in naming a quarterback not now. So he did not do that on Monday night. To quote running back Chris Evans on Patterson, great leader, like all the other quarterbacks, great arm, great awareness, play caller, blah blah blah. This guy thinks personally it doesn't matter who the quarterback of the team is, and he's right. It doesn't matter because obviously you want the best quarterback, but you want it not until they improve the offensive line, until they figure out how to protect the quarterback. Because it's impossible to be an effective quarterback when you are sprawled out on your back, the position Michigan quarterbacks assumed far too often last season. Michigan was sacked 36 times last season, which ranked 110th in the nation, like I said. Think back to the last time we saw Michigan losing 26-19 to South Carolina in the Outback Bowl. It was Michigan's third straight loss, and it was a total collapse. Michigan couldn't hold on to the ball or run the ball or protect the quarterback or convert third downs or hold on to the lead. And Harbaugh disappeared into the offseason with a 1-5 record against Ohio State and Michigan State. This guy he says, I've been critical of Harbaugh. I don't think he's accomplished anything at Michigan, not when the goal is to beat your rivals and win championships. But if I'm being fair, I also have to give him credit for the changes he's made in the offseason. So this is when they start talking about the no offensive line coach, Ed Warner. He brought in a new strength coach. He changed his coaching staff, and there are indications that he has changed his offense. It's less 21 personnel 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and downhill running game, and it's spread out a little bit. Evans said, that sounds like an offense that could become a perfect platform for Patterson, an athletic, mobile quarterback. So that's another thing that they said about Shea Patterson is that he's a mobile quarterback. He's a scrambler. He can run the ball. And that's what I saw in his when I was watching highlights of him. I could tell, he was able to run the ball, and even when he was in trouble, like even when the defense was about to get him, he got out of it. He can run. He's fast. He has good legs. He's got a great arm. He's very good at it. Will it work? We don't know for sure. Obviously, we have to put an entirely new offense. A lot more reading stuff, said offensive lineman Jon Runyan Jr. So, yeah, there's also some reading from John, who is a player. So, it's not all the coaches, but then Runyan changed his tune a little bit. Secrecy is important, I'd call it tweaked, Runyan said. We still have a lot of the same plays, same calls. We have a different kind of style to it. We are still gonna line up with a fullback and running back and run power right at you. But we do have a little flavor to it. The players call it more simplified, even in how the offense was installed. Last year in camp, we put in probably 10 offensive runs in day 1. Install, Runyan said. Then he goes on to say, this year we put in maybe 2 or 3. Then we added 2 or 3 every other day. We are really focusing on those 2 or 3 plays for 2 days. Then going back to it this weekend and starting over. We have and then this is where I get excited. He says here, we have been able to rep these plays so hard. The defense even knows what's coming sometimes, and they still can't stop us. So that's a big deal. The offense can sometimes win against our defense. I mean, obviously not all the time because, the defense is full of NFL players. I think we slowed things down. We took a step back and we were able to do really well with certain plays. Harbaugh is quick to credit Ed Warner, Michigan's new offensive line coach, who has a history of success. There's a picture of Harbaugh. The offensive line, and I think this is Harbaugh saying this, the offensive line I really believe is getting better, Harbaugh said. And then he goes on to say, Ed Warner is doing a terrific job. I can feel it. Yeah, the offensive line. I think it is ascending very nicely. Coaching the heck out of it. The guys are working hard. I think we are moving people better than we have. It's been a big difference. So not only is the players just saying this, it's even Jim Harbaugh is coming out and saying these things. Early in camp, Harbaugh noticed something about the offensive line. Something concerning. The first few days, some of our offensive linemen weren't looking at their shoes, looking at their toes, Harbaugh said. Nervous probably would be the best way to describe it. Well, of course, you are nervous while facing a defense loaded with future NFL players. But then he goes on to say, this is what made me happy. But I saw by day 6, day 7, they weren't looking down to their shoes anymore and facing the challenge and winning some of them against some really good players, Harbaugh said. Not winning all the battles because that front and that linebacking core is really good. So that's a big deal. The offense is winning some against the defense. Is that spin or is that an honest assessment? To be honest, I don't believe any coaches this time of year. But I do think that this team has a special defense. And if this offensive line can just open some holes for the running backs and keep the quarterback standing upright and out of the trainer's room, that would be a tremendous improvement. As if you haven't already known that. So, yeah, obviously, protecting the quarterback. If the offensive line can't do that, then it's a lost cause. It's going to be like last year. It's all just words at this point. To quote Chris Evans, blah, blah, blah. So, is that it? Yep. Okay. And this was updated 3 hours ago. So, as of the recording of this video, this was uploaded today. So, yeah, let me go on to the second one where players actually talk about the offense. All right. So, now it's talking, this is by mlive.com, the Michigan website. It says here, Michigan O-line showing early signs of progress in camp, players say. So this is by the players' perspective of the whole thing. This is updated yesterday, posted yesterday. So let's read what it has to say. An offseason full of workouts and learning a new system has Michigan offensive linemen showing signs of improvement this fall, players say. Starting left guard Ben Breedson, back after an all Big Ten season in 2017, said he helped lead players run offensive line workouts in the summer. Off days were few and far between, with the goal of getting the group working as one early on. The results, he said, have been tangible. Huge strides, Breedson, a junior said on Friday. 7 days into the start of the fall camp, as you guys know, we had a lot of guys play last year. We had a lot of guys rotate through last year. A lot of guys got playing time. And while that sounds good in theory, it wreaked havoc on a line that was already struggling to take in the material as it was. Players admitted to overthinking at the line of scrimmage, and when you consider that many of them were playing in a game at the college level for the first time, it made for a rough time. The right tackle position was a revolving door for most of the season, with Nolan Aluzio 5 games, Juwan Bushell-Betty 7 games, and John Runyon Jr. Outback Bowl all getting starts. Let's see what it says here. This fall, Michigan has identified Bushell-Betty, the early leader at left tackle, and Runyon, the leader at right tackle. Though both are being pushed as young guys, James Hudson and Jalen Mayfield, respectively. We were doing that same thing all the time in summer, kind of plugging guys in and out, Breedson said. The whatever that big word is huge. We refer to ourselves as the coolest position group on the team, most fun position group on the team. We all love each other. We have a great time, and that just adds to everything. Of the projected starters, Breedson, Bushell-Betty, and Runyon have all grown in the offseason under new strength and conditioning coordinator Ben Herbert. Breedson is up 12 pounds to 320. Bushell-Betty is up to 318 and apparently better proportioned. And Runyon grew an inch. He's listed at 6'4" now and gained 12 pounds, pushing him to 310. Michael Onwenu remains 6'3" and 350 pounds. Those gains could be crucial during the second half of the season when Michigan hosts Wisconsin and Penn State and has to play at Michigan State and Ohio State. Meanwhile, defensive end Rashawn Gary says he sees a renewed sense of confidence with the offensive line. He's no longer winning every rep in practice. That's what I like to hear right there. He's no longer winning every rep in practice like he was in 2017. This is what Rashawn Gary had to say. They working at a unit, and you can tell in practice communication is a lot better, Gary said. I see an attitude where the offensive line, where the offensive line, they lose a repo and they're like, come on, run it back. You see the hunger. They want to get better. As a defensive lineman, I love seeing that. Michigan's biggest struggle is at the line last season came in pass protection. The Wolverines were 115th in the country in team passing efficiency, 110th in sacks allowed, 36, and 91st in tackles for loss allowed, 83. The result was a banged-up quarterback room, one that saw Wilton Speight miss the final 9 games with broken vertebrae and Brandon Peters a concussion, forced to sit out of the regular season finale against Ohio State. This is what he also... this is Devin Bush Jr. saying this. They doing a lot better, linebacker Devin Bush Jr. said. They got a better mentality, and I think Ben Breedson really took that role of I'm going to lead this group, and he's going to do a great job of it. It's hard to handle Rashawn Gary for 4 plays straight. I mean, I think that they doing a good job of handling it. When it comes to improvement, Breedson identified 3 different reasons for it. The players are obviously bigger and stronger. A help when it comes to pushing guys back and working with easier to understand signals. But that big word, I don't even know what that word is. But is the one he stressed in the offseason, learning about the guy playing next to you and his tendencies. Gaining trust that everyone can handle their assignment, which players say are easier now under new offensive line coach Ed Werner. That's another thing I really like. They're saying it's been simplified, basically. The plays that they're doing or whatever is being simplified, which players say are easier now under new offensive line coach Ed Werner. He has all these different concepts and ideas for us, but he can break it down too to simple looks, Breedson said. If they give us this, we're going to counter with that. If they go this way, we're going to go that way. It just makes it simple so we don't have to think out there. We can just see it, react and go. That carries over from meetings onto the field real well. I've loved his style of teaching. I think the other guys have as well. I think you could sense that there's been a huge jump in the speed of the game for us on the O-line since he's come in. That's a big deal there too. Okay, I guess that's it. So, yeah. So those are the two articles I wanted to read to you about the O-line. I like what I'm hearing. Now I hope it's not over praising the team, like just trying to get our hopes up. I hope that they're really as good as they say they are, and that the offense, because obviously I know the offense could get worse, but I don't think it can at this point. Like for us, our players are just improving. They're getting bigger, stronger. We're getting new players, that are playing for us. We can only get better. We really can. There's no way it could get any worse. I don't see any of these players doing worse than they did before, other than the fact that we have a tougher schedule this year. But with a tougher team comes a tougher schedule. It's probably going to be, when you think about it, it's probably going to be one of those normal, just regular Michigan seasons, 8, 9, 10 games. Winning 8, 9, 10 games, maybe. If you go back and watch my prediction video for Michigan, you will know what I'm talking about. You know what I give my prediction for every game. But that's what people are expecting. That's what I've been reading about. Just expect this to be another regular season for Michigan. Just a normal, probably underdeveloped, underwhelming season. Probably not win as many games as you want, but obviously I've gotten to that point where I want to see us win every game, but that's not going to happen because we don't have the most talented team in the country. We definitely have a talented team, especially on that defense, but it's hard to say with our offense still, even though I'm hearing great things about them, and I know they're going to improve. I know they're going to get better. I know that this season the offense is going to be a lot better, hopefully. But I'm still not convinced that it's going to be enough to beat big teams, and because really at this point I would rather have I if we can beat Notre Dame and Michigan State and Wisconsin and Penn State, if we can win those four, I don't care about beating Ohio State. I mean, obviously that would be great if we could beat all of our rivals. If we can beat those 2 or 3 or 4, Penn State, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, there's not much to complain about if we lose to Ohio State. So, yeah, that's the video. So, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to continue watching these videos, I make sports videos a lot. I'm going to continue with the Michigan videos because those seem the Michigan videos that I make seem to get the most attention. People like them the most, and so I'm gonna keep making those because that's what you guys like to see. So if you want to see more videos from me, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you guys will get notified when I talk about Michigan. I've been a fan for, I would say, almost 10 years now. I'm young, so but I'm pretty smart when it comes to football and this team, and I would say that that I know what I'm talking about. So consider subscribing if you want it, if you care, if you like what I'm saying, if you think that what I'm saying makes sense, and you want to hear more from me. I have more videos on Michigan that you guys can go watch. I have a prediction video where I predict our season, even though the video's crap. It looks like crap. And I've got other videos talking about what people are saying, what experts are saying on the team. So you can go and watch those videos and subscribe if you want more, because I'm going to be doing this throughout the fall and throughout the Michigan season and even leading up to the season. I'll even do Michigan basketball. around that time. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.